Hi, in this video we're going to show you how to create a click track or a tempo map to a pre-performed MIDI track. I don't have any audio in this session, just a MIDI track. Alright, so here it is. It's piano. Let's listen to a second of it without a click track. Now the tempo of the session is at its default 120 beats per minute. This performance here is definitely not 120 beats per minute. I have a click track in here, but I have not created a tempo map. I have not aligned the click track to this performance, and that's what we're going to do right now. So if I listen to the click right now, tell it doesn't line up. All right, so let's dig in. I'm going to switch over to notes view on this MIDI track, and this is very important. I'm going to switch this instrument track, I should say, from ticks to sample based. If I don't do that, let me show you what happens here. I want the downbeat of this song to be bar 1, beat 1. So I'm going to zoom in on it. I'm going to enable tab to transient, which also works for MIDI notes. I'm going to hit tab, and it's going to move the cursor right to the first MIDI note. I want that to be bar 1, beat 1. And you can see my bars and beats ruler up here at the top. That's way off. It's currently around bar 5.5-ish. So I'm going to go to event menu, identify beat. I want this to be bar 1, beat 1. There it is. Now watch what happens when I click OK. All of my MIDI shifted because the MIDI is tied to, it's tick based, it's tied to bars and beats. I don't want it to move, so I'm going to hit undo. I'm going to switch this to samples. The track, instrument track is now set to sample as opposed to ticks, and my cursor is still at the same location. I'm going to do the same thing, event, identify beat. Make that bar 1, beat 1, click OK. All right, let's listen to it. Okay, so downbeat is accurate, but as soon as you get to beat 2, it's off. So I need to go identify some more bars to lay this out. Now, things to point out: I am using a click track. I'm using the I've enabled the conductor track. This is on, the little blue guy swimming in the swimming pool there, someone has once said. So I'm creating a tempo map, so the conductor track must be on. I've got tempo changes that are going to occur throughout this piece, so the conductor must be enabled. All right, so I'm just going to count it out here. Okay, I'm going to turn the click off. Hit number 7 on the numeric keypad of your QWERTY keyboard to turn the click off. Okay, so that's bar 2. I'm going to click right, get out of grid mode, go to slip mode, click just to the left of that downbeat and hit tab, and that is going to be bar 2. Event menu, identify beat, and bar 2, beat 1, and let's listen to that. Turn the click on, number 7 again. Okay, so the first bar is good, but there's a little bit of fluctuation here. So I'm going to have to go through here and kind of identify some of these bars. I'm going to do this manually for a couple of bars, but then we're going to use Beat Detective to help kind of speed up this process a little bit, right? So I'm going to go down here. Let's go down to bar 4-ish, and I'm using the ruler now, the bars and beats ruler up on top, to give me kind of a guideline. I can see it's a little bit out of line, so we're going to fix that right now. I'm going to go back to 2 and listen to it, count it out. 2. Okay, so I'm going to hit tab to transient, and that will be bar 4, beat 1. Let's listen to that. Okay, so it's starting to fluctuate again, so I need to identify another bar and beat. I'm going to go farther downstream here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this, and again, use tab to transient. That's this little button over here near the magnifying glass in the Pro Tools edit window. When I drop my cursor to the left of those notes and hit tab, it's going to move the cursor to the front note there of those, and that's going to be bar, let's see, That's going to be bar 9. So there's I'm at Pro Tools thinks currently that this is bar 8, beat 4 with 695 ticks. There's 960 ticks per quarter note, so it's almost bar 9, beat 1. I'm going to make it that right now, bar 9, beat 1. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let's listen to it. Okay, so again, it starts to fluctuate. I'm going to go a few bars down and drop my cursor, event menu, identify beat, or the shortcut for that is Command I on a Mac. I think it's Control I on a PC. And that's going to be bar 13. And we'll zoom out. Let's see what it Okay, so I've got a section in here where I identified a beat at bar 9, and that sounds good. And then I identified another beat at bar 13, and those two locations sound good, but the few bars in between, there's a little bit of fluctuation of tempo. I need to fix that, and I could go in deeper. I could go on a per bar basis if I wanted to, or even a per beat. That would be a little bit tedious. So I'm going to use Beat Detective to do that. So I'm going to make a selection. I'm going to use grid mode because I feel good that the bar 9 through bar 13, the beat marker at bar 9 and bar 13 is good. It's the content in between that I need to fix. So I'm going to go to Event Menu, Beat Detective, and I'm going to capture this selection here. So my selection in the timeline starts at bar 9, it ends at bar 13, it's 4 bars long. That should be exactly the same in Beat Detective here. It starts at bar 9, ends at bar 13, that's correct. And I've switched my operation from audio to MIDI because I want to use MIDI to further create this tempo map or further lock in this click track. So you're going to see a few different things when you're in MIDI mode in Beat Detective as opposed to audio. So the first section, capture, selection, that's the same. Over here on the detection side, this is where it's a little bit different. So the analysis allows me to have a couple of different options here. I'm going to zoom in just a bit and show you that list. So last note, first note, loudest note, average location, highest note, and lowest note. This allows me to pick what note I want Beat Detective to use to try to determine these downbeats. I'm going to choose average location. Now what they're talking about, and if you look at these group of notes here, this is one chord, and if I zoom in on them a little bit, let's see if I can bring them in to view, you can see that the notes of a chord don't always land exactly at the same time, right? They all start a little bit different locations. So I want Beat Detective to figure out the average of where those notes start, and that's where the downbeat is going to be. Currently, Pro Tools thinks the downbeat for this bar is right here. That's obviously not right. We're going to zoom out, and average location for the analysis, we'll hit Analyze, and I want it to do bars, so we're going to select that. That doesn't look right, so it's not detecting these beats correctly. So these bars correctly. Let's go to beats and see if we can't fix this a little bit. I'm going to go to first note. Let's analyze that. I don't really like that either. It's kind of missing this section here. Bring up the sensitivity. It sure doesn't like that section in there. Let's go back to average. Analyze, and what I would expect to see is at least a white or one of these yellow vertical lines right here, and I'm not seeing that, but let's try it. So I'm going to hit generate, and yes, preserve sample position, that's correct. Click OK, and let's see what it did for us. Now it sounds really good except for this section down here at the end. That sounds a little bit off. And you notice after I hit generate, it gave me all of my beat lines, which is what I was looking for a second ago. I'm going to hit generate again, see what happens. Okay, it's the same. So let's go average location. Let's go first note. Analyze. Okay, it kind of shifted things a little bit, but I still don't have a downbeat here or a beat in this middle section here. Let's see if we can. I don't like that as much with first note. I'm going to go back to average location. Analyze, generate. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to move on. We'll carry on from this location. I'm going to back out of here and let's listen to it up to that point. There's the top. This first section I did manually in just a couple of locations. Okay, so that section looks pretty good. Bars 9 through 13, that's what I used Beat Detective. I need to clean up this area a little bit in here too. So this is bar, let's see, where are we at? Bar 4. I'm in grid mode. I'm going to make a selection from bar 4 all the way up to bar 9, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did a second ago with Beat Detective. So my selection starts at bar 4, beat 1, ends at bar 9. It's 5 bars long. And capture selection down here in Beat Detective. And let's open that up a little bit so we can see better. And analyze. What do we got? That actually looks pretty good right out of the gate. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to hit generate. Now I set the analysis to average location, and the sensitivity is about 56%. My resolution is set to beats. I wanted to identify each beat as opposed to each bar. I could do bars if I wanted to, but I'm going to do beats because there is some fluctuation in here. Hit generate and boom. Now you notice that the tempo ruler was populated with a bunch of different bar beat markers. Let's listen to what this tempo sounds like against the track. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to zoom out. We'll go back down here to bar 13 and we'll resume and just go down the track. Now I'm going to go down, listen to it, and I'm going to drop in, manually drop in another bar beat marker, maybe 4 bars, maybe 8 bars. Let's see if we can get 8 bars down the song here. And I'm just going to look at what we've got. So we're at bar 13 there. That would be 21. And it's definitely off, but let's see what that. Turn the click off, number 7. Okay, so I think that's actually going to be bar, go to slip mode. That's probably going to be the downbeat of bar 21. That shows you how far off or how much the tempo of this piece fluctuates. I'm going to take a stab at it and see if that's bar 21. We'll call that 21 and okay, so I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to make a selection. Again, I feel good about bar 21. I'm going to go to grid mode, make a selection from 21 back to bar 13. That was another bar beat marker that I dropped manually, so I feel good about the integrity of that one. Now let's use Beat Detective to kind of fill in the gaps here on this selection. This is a 8-bar selection. I want to make sure once again that the selection in my timeline that starts at bar 13 and ends at bar 21, it matches the same selection criteria here in the Beat Detective window. Hit capture selection and analyze. That doesn't look as clean as it did the other one, but let's take a look. So whoops. And I'm going to go to first note, analyze. This section here in the middle, all these notes tend to overlap a little bit, and I think that's why it's not putting an identifier there. So I'm going to go back to average. I usually have best luck with that. Maybe we'll bring the sensitivity up a little bit. Let's go up to, yeah, it's not moving at all. Once I get up to about 50%. Okay, so let's hit generate. Click OK and see what it does. Let's listen to the proof in the pudding is listening to the click track against the music, and if those are in time with each other, then we're in business. Okay, good. I like it. I'm going to move on. That was bar 21. And let's see if we can go down another 8 bars. I'm going to start my selection at bar 21. And I'm going to make it 8 bars long. That actually looks pretty good. Let's listen to it. Okay, that's not bad, but I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. So our selection is 8 bars long, starting at bar 21. I'm going to hit capture selection in Beat Detective so that its start and end numbers match. And average location, hit analyze and generate. And let's see. Okay, I like it. Moving on. We're going to go from bar 29 down to, let's go, 29 to, I don't know, let's do 16 bars. Let's try that. See what we can accomplish with that. Now, I'm kind of not sure what we're going to see down there. Scrolling down to the end. Okay, I don't think that this looks like the downbeat right here. So I'm going to extend this selection to go right where these notes are. I think that's where. And I'm going to see as I move the end of the selection, it will highlight the notes. So I don't want to, I want to go right around there. I'm going to kind of average where those notes start. And let's make that, we're going to capture selection. So this should be bar 45 beat 1. And enter. Let's take a look. Analysis. That's not looking really good at all. I may have bitten off a little more than we can chew here. Let's go to bars, see if we can. Okay, now bars looks pretty good. Those all look evenly separated. And I hit generate. Let's take a look. Okay, that actually worked pretty well. Okay, I like it. All right, moving on. We're going right down the length of this track. So we're going to go from 45. I'm going to do another 16 bar section since that works so well. 45, beat 1, 16 bars long. And let's zoom in on that end bit down there and see if we can see what that looks like. Now, I think this section looks like it's a chord. I'm going to say that that's the downbeat, and I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to move the end of my selection right about there. I'm going to say that that is bar 61. Is that right? We'll know in a second. Whoops, not that one. There. 61. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I can do it from here. So we'll do capture selection. This is going to be bar 61. Yes. And option F, analyze. I'm using bars as my resolution as opposed to beats. And I'm looking at these yellow lines. They look nice and evenly separated. So I'm going to go with that. Hit generate. Let's see what it sounds. I like it. Perfect. All right, moving on. We'll start at bar 61, just where we left off. And I'm going to move this timeline down. Boy, this song's longer than I recall. Okay, so we're going to start at bar 61. And we're going to do another 16 bar section. Let's try it. 16 bars and zoom in. And let's take a look at the end of that selection. I'm going to say that this is the downbeat. This looks like it's the chord right here. So I'm going to shift click and make my selection end right around there. That will be bar 76, I think. All right. Capture selection. We want to make that 76 bar 1. Enter. Analyze, zoom out, and that's not looking good. It's got a whole bunch of area in the middle here that it's not finding. Okay, first notes. Let's go back to average location, analyze. Okay, at least it's consistent in its thing. So this makes me feel like I have not identified the right location for bar 76. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of there and I'm going to count it off. Let's do that. That's something novel, right? 69, 70, 71. Oh, there we go. So there was a retard there that slowed down. That's what threw us off. So this looks like bar 71. So I'm going to go back to grid mode, make my selection back to bar 61. Let's zoom in on that and see if we can tighten that up a little bit. Okay, so I think this might be bar 71 beat 1. I'm going to guess that right now. Let's listen to it. Okay, yeah, so that's it. I think that's it. I'm gonna drop a identifier right there. I got a selection made? Apparently I do. Yes, I do. Bar 71. And let's go back to, what did I say, 60? 61. So I did 10 bars. And capture selection, analyze bars. That looks pretty good. I'm looking for those yellow lines to be, consistently separated. And I'm going to hit generate. Oops, click track. Turn that on. Okay, I like that. That sounds good. Now the next section might be a little bit tricky because it slows down. The tempo slows down right here. So let's listen to it. Turn the click off. Okay, interesting. All right. So look, bar 71 is good. I feel good about that. It slows down right at that location. Okay, and that is where bar 73 should be. Let's zoom in. Okay, I'm pretty good with that. So I'm going to identify that as bar 73 beat 1. And zoom out. Let's listen to it with a click. It's actually not so bad as is, but I feel like there's a little bit of, as it slows down, the click fluctuates from the music a little bit. Now I could just drop a marker right there and call that 72. Let's see what that does. It's actually not bad. Okay, so I'm good up to 73, but of course now it's a little bit off down here. So let's count this off. Okay, so that's going to be 75, I think. Let's zoom in on it. Let's go right like that. Okay, 75 is good. I'm okay with that. That's 2 bars. But of course now it's out down here. Let's count it out. This looks like 76, 77, 78, 79, I think is going to go right to about there. And let's capture that. 75 to 79. I'm going to go with that. Analyze. Beats. Not looking good there. 76, 77, 78, 79. Well, I'm going to hit it anyway. All right. Okay, cool. It actually updates it after I hit generate, and listening to it, it sounds good. I'm going to go with that. Okay, and moving on. So from bar 79, let's do another, let's go all the way down to 8 bars. That looks like a downbeat. I'm going to go there. 6 bars. Let's zoom in on those notes and adjust the selection. I'm going to go right there. I'm going to kind of split the difference between those 4 notes of that chord and capture selection 79 to 85. That's good. Analyze. We're looking pretty good, but it didn't identify one right here, which is interesting. Let's see if we can pull up the sensitivity. Okay, there we go. Lowered the sensitivity and it detected it better. Okay. Oops. Okay, I like it. Moving on. I'm just going to extend my selection. We're going to go right to there. I think that's a downbeat if I've ever seen one. And zoom in on it. Okay, I like where that is. I'm going to go with that. Capture selection in Beat Detective. Analyze. And it's not giving me the result I want. Let's go to beats. Interesting. So there's definitely some fluctuation going on there. I wonder if it's slowed down again. So I'm going to move this selection back and go right to here. Maybe take a 2-bar chunk right there. And update my selection, analyze, generate. Let's see what it does. Okay, that looks okay. Okay, I like it. And let's see if there's... Okay, yeah, so that's why I didn't like it, because there's another slowdown. We're going to go right there for bar 89. Capture selection, analyze, I like it, generate. Okay, and we'll go from bar 89. Whoops. Can't extend that selection that way in MIDI notes view. Okay, 89, and we will go to 90. Shit. 95. It's going to be right around there. Capture selection, analyze. Let's go to bars again. Not liking that. There we go. Let's move the sensitivity up. It's not identifying this one beat because these 3 notes are landing right where that bar marker should go. But I'm going to hit generate, and let's see what happens. Okay, I'm way off. Let's undo. So that should be 89 to 95. And I didn't fix it over here. My selection within Beat Detective 94, bar 94, beat 4. So I'm going to go to 95, 1. There we go. That's better. Generate. Okay, we've got to slow down again. Okay, so let's look at that. That looks to be bar. I'm going to go right there for bar 96. I'm just going to do this manually. And it shows I've got a selection, not just my cursor dropped. Okay, how about that? Bar 96. Okay, so this is going to be 97. Now this is an exaggerated example of the average. Where do we want the downbeat to land? Kind of in the middle of all those notes. So let's try that. Let's make that 97. Shoot. Add a selection again. There we go, 97. Nope. Alright, we got to slow that down. Let's go from 96 to 97. Let's go to grid mode. 96 to 97. Beat detective. Average location. Analyze. We want to do beats. Subbeats. Let's try that. Generate. Nope, that didn't work. Let's go back to beats. Eighth notes. Let's try it. Not feeling good about this one. No. Okay. So 96 to 97. Let's count it off. Okay, so this is going to be slip mode. Okay, so that's going to be tab to transient. Let's try that 96.2. 96.2. Enter. This is going to be 96.3. 96.3. Enter. Okay, now where's 4 going to be? Is it going to be there or is it going to be here? I think it might be there. Let's check it out. Yeah, it is right here. Looks like it. Tab and 96.4. Okay, let's listen to it. Go back a couple bars, put it in context. All right, there you have it. We tempo mapped the whole thing. Should we go to the top and listen? Ta-da! We made it through the whole song.